So do you use the word roadmap?
Yes, of course.
Funny story, a guy that I had the privilege of working, really, really nice guy. This is another phenomenon that I think you have an experience with. A lot of the PMO managers that I meet are great people. But funny enough, a lot of the PMO managers, when they become PMO managers, have no idea what the hell a PMO is, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of an accelerated coaching program that I do with them. And that's why we also have the PMO program in our online academy, is one of our biggest programs, where we try to give PMO managers all the different angles that they need. But I remember this guy said, listen, I just got selected as a PMO boss. I go, why? I said, because I've worked together with this new executive or senior vice president. I've worked with him in the halo effect. I did a good job for him then. He respects me. He said, do this. I don't know what it is. Take care of it for me. So he hired me on board and I coached him. And he says, one of the things he wants from me is he wants me to give him a roadmap. I said, well, then do. And he looked, and then he was like beating around the bush. And I go, well, give him a roadmap. And he goes, and then I said, okay, I noticed the conversation was breaking down. So I said, okay, stop talking over this guy. Listen to him. And I started asking him a couple questions. And I go, what's the challenge of making, let me ask you, do you know what a roadmap is?
Oh.
Because I thought this is an embarrassing question to ask. I didn't want to insult him. And he goes, no.
Yeah.
And there's no harm in this. I love it. Ask me the most straightforward questions. And then it was easy for, okay, I broke it down. A roadmap is you have a long-term goal that you set. And then you say, okay, what are intervals? Okay, in Agile, you would say, what are releases? What are part-time deliveries?
However you call it.
Okay, what are your short-term goals? What are your mid-term goals? What are your long-term goals? How are you going to measure them? When are you going to celebrate them? When are you going to show them? And what's the work that happens in between? And actually, it was a great interaction with him, and he put together a great roadmap. I will say this in his defense: he's become a sensational PMO. Mm-hmm. I'm still in contact with him every once in a while, but he hasn't asked me to coach him in a long time. He says, "Listen, Mark, you can learn from me now." But this is part of the process. Sometimes the most simple things take some time to understand.
But now we come to a very critical point, because you cannot go there and say, if you have a target in 2030, and let's say we have now 4 years to go or 6 years to go, and say, okay, the target is 100, now I'm with 10, let's break it down into 6 years and have the how it evolves over time. This doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because we didn't think about the value chain. With the value,
so still a couple people go, what the hell is the value chain? So let's repeat it so they understand what the link is.
What we mentioned before when we said I need capabilities or employees to execute processes, to create products, and then have the customers buying it and then getting financials.
Are you familiar with that book that was brought out, The Business Model?
I guess I read it. Yes,
I'll show it to you guys later.
It's some time ago. Yeah.
It's actually a very simple management canvas that, and I'll bring it out later. I think you'll smile when you see it, because it's very overlapping with this concept.
Because it's logical.
It's logical, but it takes time to digest and understand, and then ask the critical: do I even know?
But now comes the work why I need executives for, because up to now I do not need an executive. So this can be done by anybody else.
Well, I tell you, the great ideas come from everywhere. What executives are also there for, and this is one thing we forgot, they have to decide.
And now, to make the right decisions.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Make the decision, whatever is right or wrong.
And also, where now the portfolio management comes into play is to see how do those value chains I have in the company interact. If I start projects or programs, whatever in the portfolio, to change some of the change in this value creation process, what are the effects to other sides? And you need to select now the changes to make the whole organization going, let's say, in the same speed. You may not overemphasize one end and underemphasize the other. And this is now when we are talking about breaking down the vision into, let's say, year slides, together with the portfolio management thinking, okay, what changes do we need to do to evolve the value change in a way that it moves as a whole and not left.
What you're saying is so deeply resonating with me because it's so much of my own personal experience. And I don't know if it's coming across to the viewers